Welcome back, my friends. My name is Eric. This is Rome, and we're back with some more Dishonored. So we are here with episode 2 or mission 2 at the Hound Pits pub. Mission is Hidden Allies. Hidden in an old bar on the river, your new allies have a plan to share with you. Meet with the loyalist inner circle to learn what they've got in mind. Press any key to continue. All right, I will. Ratchet Warehouse.
This is the Hound Pits pub, closed for business. Half the district marked off as dead from the plague. We're right under the Lord Regent's nose, and he don't know a thing. Of course, if anyone finds out what we're up to, the Watch will break in with swords drawn. And now that you've escaped, the Lord Regent's going to be tearing the city apart. Take you up to meet Admiral Havelock and the rest of the Loyalists. The Admiral's a man to be reckoned with. If anyone can help you find that missing girl, Lady Emily, and clear your name, he can.
All right, Sammy the Boatman has smuggled you across the river from Coal Ridge Prison. He works for an underground movement opposed to the illegal reign of the Lord Regent and has brought you to meet the members of the organization. I wonder if I'm supposed to be doing any sort of exploration out here first before I go in there, or if this is going to be an escape for us later. MS Hardware, we got some cigars. Mysteries of Pandesia. Excerpt from a book on the foreign continent, Pandesia. From the writer, the Academy of Natural Philosophy, they speak of the Pandesian continent as a place of wonder, where all of life has entwined and blossomed across aeons, producing vibrant ecology unrivaled in the civilized world. The overseers from the Abbey of the Everyman, by contrast, talk of horror and heresies, of cults of submen engaged in brutal, perverse rituals. Why can't they both be true? A few have traveled to the far continent and come back to the Isles. Those who have actually touched the soil there have returned with notes that describe vast deserts, deep jungles, and outlandish creatures that defy belief. Ugh. Once in a generation, a great effort is mounted to build a colony there, in hopes of this someday growing into a port city to rival Dunwall itself. But to date, these attempts have all ended in madness and failure. Cape of Teeth map. Okay, I don't know if I'm going to need that or not, but I will take the coin. Especially now that we know we get graded on how much of this stuff we find. Wonder if the crown graffiti means something. We saw the skull graffiti earlier. You know, with the crown. Alright, well.
I expect they're hard at work in there. Best join them. They'll help
Alright.
you get whoever really killed the Empress.
Not kill the rat plague. The outsider walks among us. I like that. Simple, nice. Good, clean iconography there.
So it's starting at last, Admiral. We've found our man. Even after in Cold Ridge Prison, he slipped out like it was nothing.
Yes, not surprising. He was the personal bodyguard of the Empress. You've heard the stories.
Yes, I have.
We can continue this later, Lord Pendleton. The man of the hour is here. Corvo, I'm Admiral Havelock. A true servant of the Empire, like you. Until the Lord Regent purged those of us who wouldn't recognize his claim on the throne.
And I'm Lord Trevor Pendleton. I represent the nobility in our little group. but we all act as equals here at the Hound Pits pub.
This is a momentous occasion, Corvo. I'm going to come out with it. We've been building a coalition of loyalists, aimed at ending the Lord Regent's tyranny and restoring the throne.
At risk of execution, we're committed to finding young Lady Emily and seeing her crowned as Empress.
We've got big plans, but we can't do any of it without you. We need your skills, your ability in a fight, and in helping us, we're going to help you destroy the men who murdered the Empress.
Sorry, you must be exhausted. We can discuss this further after you've recovered. But before you retire, you should introduce yourself to Piero. He's challenging at times, but his industrious mind buys him that right.
Yes, Piero's as much an artist as a technician. He's going to be crafting the gear you'll need. Go talk to him and then get some sleep. We can talk more when you've rested.
Alright. Piero is an inventor, is able to craft and upgrade equipment, spends most of his time in his workshop, saving the boat. Yeah. Okay. I'll take a look around here first.
Good.
Can I not walk this way?
I'll be crafting your weapons and gear. All custom work. For you, I will create the tools of a master assassin.
Ooh, I like that.
No! This cannot happen now. The tank of whale oil is running. Will you get a new tank from upstairs, please, while I hold this in place? Be careful. Oil's unstable. When it explodes, there's a terrible mess.
Yes. Give me a second. No, I will not sign off these purchases. A bag of powdered crystal, Tivian order. What's wrong with the metals and crystal? King's sparrow feathers. If you need feathers, sacrifice your own pillow. Maybe at the academy, everything you needed was paid for by tariff and handed out willy-nilly, but this is my bar, what's left of it. And we're operating on a budget. We're running low on oil, food, elixir, building materials, and everything else. You got to slow down. While I'm footing the bill, I will not approve your purchases unless they're absolutely required. No more copper wire or special herbs. If you need those things, go out and scavenge them. Half the city in ruin. No one's going to miss any of the old crap you seem to need. All right. Excerpt from a series of newspaper articles from prominent natural philosophers by Piero Joplin. It is through no fault of my own that the average citizen has expressed a preference for Sokolov's elixir over my own formula, sold as Piero's remedy, a name I did not choose if you must know the truth. The public has spoken its usual message of idiocy, spending their coin as a means of selecting Sokolov's formula over mine, which I believe to be equal, if not superior. Much has been made of the popularity of these concoctions as a means of resisting this remarkable new plague. I say remarkable because this strain works with an efficiency we have not seen in the history of the Empire. The plague, now making its way through the city of Dunwall, is unrivaled in its effectiveness. I have studied it within the blood of those afflicted, and it is nearly perfect. Elegant, in fact. And while it is true that Piero's remedy and Sokolov's elixir are known to protect the body against the plague equally, my own properties not fully understood which relate to the mind itself and the spirit, and it is this way that the formula wins out. Here is where one should pay attention to this contest. For see, Sokolov's elixir, which is the emphasis on brute animal body, is a crass goo better suited for livestock. The subtle and secret variants in the key ingredients make up Piero's remedy ensure that it works on higher functions, separate mankind from the mindless blue-jawed hagfish swimming in the Wrenhaven River. Oh, okay. We have found a few Sokolovs. I didn't take that because our health is okay at the moment. Interesting. Remarkably, each specimen I had the pleasure of studying during the voyage possessed some minor variance in physiology. On the second leg of the trip, east of Tivia, the crew hauled aboard a female some 42 feet in length. I estimated she weighed 35 tons, and the ship sat low, rocking side to side through the night with her thrashing. By candlelight, I took her apart, sketching and taking notes. Against her bellowing, I cut into the mass of tentacles around her mouth. Within, I found row upon row of teeth and a baleen running along the upper jaw. Through this broom-like structure, I assumed she filtered food from the water that was too small to be chewed. Out at sea, they secure the beast with hooks, with lines cast from the main ship and from several smaller boats. Buoys keep the whale from diving deep. Once it's caught, a larger hook is driven through the tail, which is used to hoist the creature up through the chute. They moan and bellow for some time as the men get them back into the deck and lift them into the scaffolding overhead. The ship adjusts its prow and returns to port in Dunwall, where the crew works on the great creature, slicing off the fattiest parts while it still lives. Seems a little bit excessive. Alright, Sokolov no longer has the upper hand regarding supply of oil. Whale oil, the good admiral, has paid for the installation of that own system, which will enable it to work in this place. The oil tank dispenser, when activated, will produce an empty vessel for filling. When the empty tank is held near the oil tank refill pump, okay, I need to do that, the magnetic attractor should take the tank and lock it in the correct configuration. Using the lever, we'll begin the refill. So we take a tank over, the magnetic grabs it, then we use the lever. Once refilling, the tank can be removed and placed in service. Extreme caution. They are quite unstable. Okay.
The Academy teaches that absurd idea that the energy in whale oil arises from the need to maintain life functions at extreme ocean depths. The pressure and the cold are too much to endure without it. I speculate that a human being might, by a process of adaptation, produce high-energy humors in the body. I could build a tank that would slowly increase pressure on a subject over a long period of time, and then observe them for years if need be, to see if the formulation of energetic substances develop. Surely the Empress would be able to furnish me with facilities subject to the necessary legal amnesty.
Golden Cat, finest ladies in all the Isle, skilled in ascension arts. Aged whiskey of renown. We also got the Hound Pit. We already saw that one. Preston Club. We got one more book here. Alright, commissioned by the Lord Regent in the face of a growing plague crisis, the dead counter is a position that will only be given to officers, usually of junior or middle grades. In most matters of edict or cure-free enforcement, these officers will defer to the acting officer on duty. However, any dead counter will have command in situations related to plague and the handling of the dead, including those with late-stage plague symptoms called weepers, common parlance. Starting at the month of rain, interest officers may apply for the test and, if accepted, for the 2-week training tour. They will be administered in coins and rations of elixir at 1 1/2 normal pay grade. Okay. It said it added a note to our deal, so these are...
Now plug it in. Just get it near the receptacle. Magnetism will... Perfect. Thank you, Carl. Here, see? The assassin's mask. You're a wanted man, so everyone in the city knows your face, but this mask will mean terror to them. If you just hold still, the fit must be precise. There. Can you see normally? Center the lens out of alignment. There. Better now? I could create more for you. Upgrades for your gear, weapons, munitions. But our situation here is desperate. Scavenge the city for valuables and I will resell them on the black market. That should give us the money to craft the things you need.
Okay.
Tell me what I can make for you.
Let's have a look. Alright. How much money do I have? I have 718 coins. So, a rewire tool allows you to rewire circuitry and turn security systems. That seems useful. A trap. I mean, traps are always good, but I can kill people other ways. So I'm kind of thinking this rewire tool would be good. All right. Disable security devices or make them work in your favor by using a rewire tool on the circuit panel for the security device you want to hack. Oh, but that consumes it. All right, so it's a one-time thing. Rewired walls of light, arc pylons, and watchtowers will harm enemies instead of you, while rewired alarms will be fully disabled. Okay. So maybe, we'll have to see. Did I buy one? I think I bought one already. What do we got for upgrades? Crossbow accuracy, crossbow range. Combat sleep dart. Sleep dart state is immediate even in combat. Sword crossing. Blocked blades, pushing against an enemy. Spring razor radius. Okay, equipment upgrades. Mask optics. Allows you to magnify your view. I like that. Bullet capacity. Okay, those all look good. We've got 618. Adds a short range spread damage. Okay. Kind of like the optics. We're gonna need some more. We're gonna probably need more crossbow bolts first of all. I don't have very many. I've got the 3 of those. I've got 7 of those. Let's get up to 10. Regular bullets I've only got 2 of. Take up to 5. I don't really want to use the bullets very often because it's loud. Let's get 3. That would be cool. Grenades would be cool. Let's go to upgrades. We've got 400 left. I'm wondering about Bone Charm. Enables 1 additional Bone Charm. I mean, I don't know what they are at the moment. I don't have any. So let's not get that yet. Let's go for Mask Optics. Left Alt for Zoom. Yeah.
You must be exhausted. I advise that you get some sleep. Your life will get even more difficult soon. You should rest while you can.
All right.
Sleep well.
All right. Somewhere else. Is this where I went to sleep? That looks like a secret door. Sounds like it's raining outside. Something's not right. Where are we headed? Up top? Oh. This is somewhere else. Hey, there's a whale over there.
Hello, Corvo.
Hello.
Your life has taken a turn, has it not? The Empress is dead. Her precious daughter Emily is lost somewhere in the city, and you will play a pivotal role in the days to come. For this, I have chosen you and drawn you into the void. I am the outsider, and this is my mark. There are forces in the world and beyond the world, great forces that we call magic. And now, these forces will serve your will. Use this newfound power, my gift to you. Come find me.
Okay. All right. Press right mouse button to execute a fast and stealthy forward dash through the world. You can also use it to move upward, but the distance is reduced. Aiming at legends will allow you to blink forward and climb up. Hold right mouse button to target your destination with precision. A blue sphere indicates you should reach your destination. A blue arrow indicates you'll climb up when you reach your destination. Okay, I'm going to walk over here first and see if there's anything over here before I make this. Okay, that was easy enough. Oh. You cannot save her, you cannot save her, you cannot save her, you cannot save her. Okay, you cannot save her. Hero's Spiritual Remedy. Ah, so we've got one of his. So that's a mana potion. All right, so the other potions are a health potion. His are a mana potion, right? Because we had the whole thing about which one helps the body and which one helps the mind. Oh, that didn't go well. I thought it said we would reach it. All right, let's try this again. Right, so we go to there. There we go. Corvo, I'm very sad. They say that you're dead like mother. But I'm going to put this note in a bottle and throw it into the river because I do not believe them. Living here is very strange. I do not like it. So please come for me if you can. Okay. Oh, and each of these does require some amount of power here, huh? So that'll give us a climb. No, that's not what I want. I want that. Okay, so how do I use that? Little mouse? T. Huh. He's not happy about something, huh? What do we got over here? Is there a note? No. There's a whale. Edge of a roof. And then we climb up. All right. Oh, I didn't look at that. I was too busy looking at that. I missed that whole map. Damn it. That's probably something important there. Oh well.
Days that follow, your trials will be great, Corvo. Seek the ancient runes bearing my mark in the lonely places of your world, and at shrines raised in my name. These runes will grant you powers beyond those of other men. To help you find these runes, I give you this, the heart of a living thing, molded by my hands. With this heart, you will hear many secrets, and it will guide you toward my runes, no matter how they may be hidden. Listen to the heart now, and find another rune.
Equipping the heart in your left hand helps you locate bone charms or runes, even through walls. The heart beats and lights up when you're facing a bone charm or room, and it beats faster as you get closer. The heart whispers secrets if you press right mouse while targeting a person or location. Let's start with this. Is that a bird? I don't know. I assume we go down from here. Or I'm gonna come. All right. Yep. Looks like we just dropped down. Follow the Follow the lights. I'm going to take a look through here before I drop down there, though, just to make sure I'm not missing anything. I probably am. Do like the ambiance. All right, now we open that and go to Blink. Once you've collected some runes, open the journal and go to the power section to exchange them for powers. Runes can be collected and used to acquire supernatural powers. Alright, so then we're going to open... Oh, well, it opened the journal for me. Alright, so dark vision. See in the dark and see living beings through walls, including the fields of vision. Representations of the sounds that you make are also visible. See in the dark and see living beings... Whoops. Through walls, including fields of vision. Representations... Yep. See useful objects and security systems. All right, so this one is people and sounds. This one adds security systems and objects. So we're stealth, allowing you to watch enemies. Or you can see the visual representation of sounds you make. All right, so I like that. And we will probably do something. That probably should be one of the early ones. That one costs 3 runes. This one just costs 1. Or we could get vitality, which is just more health. That one takes 2, 2. I'm going to go for dark vision. All right, so we have that. We can see in the dark. See the fields of view as well as... Yep. All right, perfect. Like that. Like that. All right, so now we've got inventory, by the way. We've got some coins. We've got a key ring with nothing on it. We've got 1 gadget. Nothing here because we're in the other world.
How you use what I have given you falls upon you, as it has to the others before you. And now I return you to your world, but know that I will be watching with great interest.
All right, we are back to hidden allies. So got the tattoo. See some money there. There's some bone charms. All right, bone charms provide supernatural benefits. Locate them by listening for the song they emit. By default, you can activate 3 bone charms at once in the bone charms section of the journal. Okay, well. I don't know what the artifacts do, but we'll take it. The Journal of Granny Rags. Of course I'll tell you, dearie. I won't keep any secrets from you in the end. All of the dreary days of my life are like the windows of a house. From the kitchen, I can see out into the gardens where the leaves and stalks are brown and bug-eaten. You can see a little lump of dirt where something was wrapped in a blanket and laid to rest along the rows of twisting vines. The front room looks out to the street where the neighbors are all setting fire to their homes, barricading themselves inside. Warm and snug, dearie. Don't forget... Oh, interesting. Setting fire to their homes with themselves inside. Interesting. Okay. Don't forget about the bedroom either. It sees into a dreary alley where hooligans are playing a game with an old man. The first 2 are hitting him with sticks, and the girl with them is kicking at his dirty, dirty old ribs. Dry old ribs. Oh, to have those bones to boil them in a pot. No one lives in my house anymore, dearie. No one you'd want to meet. When I lived there with my husband, we were fine, fine people. Per amore, everyone would say. Your house is as grand as Boyle Manor. Even, better even. Your dinners are lavish and your parties are the best. When that young Sokolov came to paint my portrait, I was nearly still in my prime. Radiant, he said, and he was just barely a man, so young, painting all the best people across the land. Everyone wanted a portrait by his hand, all my friends. I was the only one, dearie, wet with his paint, glistening on the canvas for a pretty coin. But it wasn't all parties and paintings. My husband and I weren't always at home, no. We traveled together, he and I, to the far ends of the Isles, beyond even, all the way to the red cliffs of Pandysia, to dig in the rock and crawl through the caves, holding up candles and squinting at the walls. Many precious things we came upon, but none so precious as the boy, with the black eyes, dear. All those marks and bones, carved so deep and polished so bright. I brought the old bones home, hid them for my dear husband. Then I learned to boil them and carve them myself. They made such good presents, dearie. The little mute boy took them home. He loved them so. All the time he came back with new bones for me, holding them up so I could see it in his eyes, even though his tongue was still. Granny, his eyes would say to me, carve these bones for me. Make me another present. And he went so far, all the way to Dunwall Tower. The royal headsman himself now, my little mute boy and his shiny, shiny sword. Better bones were what I needed, you see. Better bones to carve and polish, scrape and gleam. My dear old husband was always tired. I made him soup. And then he was sick. Better bones was all. For my little mute boy, carved in the name of the one with black eyes. And after my husband was gone, giving away his birthday gifts, I didn't want to live there anymore. So now I'm old, and I don't have many to give my presents to. It's sifting through the garbage for granny rags and feeding the little birdies that gather at my feet. No one wants to have tea, dearie, especially those rude louts on Bottle Street. Slackjaw and his boys always meddling with an old woman just trying to make her way. In the end, we'll be together with him, you and me in the dreary night with stars above and below, and always the one with the black eyes. We check our clues? All right, new day. Speak to Admiral Havelock in the bar? Yep, optional, the rune. Hidden in the old bar on the river, your allies have plans to meet you with the loyalist inner circle they've got in mind. Use the heart to find the rune near the hounds. Yep, we will definitely do that. Mission clues. We've already seen those. Mission items, we have nothing there. Notes, Emily's letter. Looks like this is just all this stuff that we already got. Okay. Don't know what those are yet, but we'll figure that out. Early life and criminal record. Slackjaw. All right, well, we just heard about it. You want a chin wag on Slackjaw? What he was like when he was young before he got his name? Oh, he's got a cool head now, but it weren't always like that in the days before he was the boss of the Bottle Street gang. Time was, young Slackjaw wasn't such a reasonable man. Like most of us, he grew up on the streets, running with a pack of ragamuffins and avoiding the law, pinching whatever he needed. Dark-haired and dark-eyed, smoking a pipe by the age of 10. For them born into the brothels or coming from the orphanages, it was either the gangs or working with the mudlarks, and no one wants that. Some got pressed into the Navy or put down in the mines run by Pendleton or the Boyle families. As hard as it was on the streets, as hungry as we all got, at least we was free. By the time we weren't little uns anymore, Slackjaw was one to watch, usually calling the shots. When we took down a farmer's cart or sidewalk street vendor, he'd come up with a plan, give everyone some part to play, and decide on the split. Most of us just went along because we learned fast that we made out better like that. More food, more coin, plus none of us wanted to deal with Slackjaw when he was in a rage. He worked at a couple big jobs with Black Sally across town, and that was enough to get the attention of the other bosses. He wasn't just a street kid anymore. He was an up-and-comer, which meant trouble. Another guy who fancied himself was Mike the Fish, who was working his way up running the protection racket among the factory women. One fine evening, we're all taken in a body show at the theater house. Mike the Fish and his lot are in there in the cheap seats too, just down the aisle from us. Mike gets a wild idea. He wasn't big on planning, and he throws a heavy ceramic spittoon at Slackjaw. Hits him square in the face and breaks his jaw. We look to see if there's going to be a blood brawl, but Slackjaw just points to the door and we all leave, with Mike laughing at our backs. Waking up the next day, without telling us why, Slackjaw motions for us all to follow. He still can't say a word, so we just come along. We stop at the docks. Slackjaw buys, but actually pays coin for it, a heavy chain covered in hooks. It's for fishing in the deep. Something you attach to a long line off the side of a ship. It's about 4 feet, made of thick links. And there's shark hooks coming off it at different angles. Slackjaw's got that thing wrapped around his left arm, dangling at his side. Oh, you know, I've just spaced on his name now, and I shouldn't. He's not really a superhero. He's more a killer and assassin. He murdered his whole planet by the time he was like 2.5 or whatever. Bite me fanboy, he carries the big meat hook. Rides a space motorcycle. You guys let me know what his name is down below. I can't think of it. Anyway, had the big meat hook chain wrapped around his left hand. Not sure how he knew where Mike the Fish was staying, but when we reached this girl's house, Slackjaw throws a bottle through the window just like that. It's almost noon. There's a bunch of screaming inside, and Mike pokes his head out, looking wide-eyed and baffled. When he sees Slackjaw on the street, a look comes over his face that still gives me the willies. Pure murder. Mike comes out the side door, bellowing like a blood ox, holding a cleaver, headed straight for Slackjaw. When they come together in the street, Slackjaw spins and the shark hooks bite deep into Mike's arm and shoulder. He screams. Slackjaw holds onto the chain. He's standing there with his jaw broken, clenching tight, with a chain wrapped around his left arm, hook sunk into Mike the Fish, just knifing him as fast as he can. Mike can't fight very well, hooked like that, and using his left hand, but he's a big guy, and it took a lot of stabbing before he went to his knees. Everyone was cheering at first, but then we all went quiet. It just kept going and going until finally it was just Mike the Fish blubbering, crying like a baby in the sound of Slackjaw's knife. When it was over, and here's the brilliant part, Slackjaw took out a note and stuck to Mike's face with a nail. It said, "If you want a job, come to Bottle Street." Slackjaw didn't talk right for a couple months, but word spread fast. By the end of the year, once we had a sizable gang going, he sent out letters to the other bosses, telling them that he was running a brand new crew over on Bottle Street. Most of them laughed or beat up the guys who delivered the letters. Green-Eyed Trish even came back missing a thumb, but apparently Slackjaw was expecting that kind of reaction and had a backup plan. A week later, 4 of the bosses were dead. It seemed like a series of unfortunate events, but everyone knew better. One shot dead by the watch while standing in the middle of a meat market. Another slipping and falling into the water, out cold. One of the other older bosses found in bed with his belly open wide and a Tivian pear stuffed into his mouth. Still not sure what that meant, and Sheila Barnsworth was found bubbling in a cauldron of hot wax. Slackjaw sent out another set of letters, offers to the underbosses, telling them they'd be treated fair as peers. Even sent Green-Eyed Trish with one of the letters. All of the underbosses accepted. Okay. After spilling the guts of his main competition, Slackjaw went in for stabilizing his business. Real neat-like, calling in favors, smoothing things over, giving everyone a little bit of coin or drink as a bonus. Showing what he'd be like as a boss. So everything got quiet, which always makes the boys of the City Watch nervous, of course. Word went out among the Royal Spymaster Stitches, the responsible citizens group they called themselves, telling everyone working in a shop or sweeping off the front steps of their homes, keep watchful eyes for Slackjaw and his men. Trying to suss out what they were up to and what just happened. But Slackjaw ain't stupid. He greased a few palms among the shopkeepers in the watch too, telling them he was in town to stay and that things would be run properly from now on, without so much blood. He was finally a real boss, ready to settle into the business of moving whiskey, running the hound fight, and offering up the ladies and gentlemen of the night, take my meaning. Then the plague came. At first, it seemed like a good thing. A few people got sick and everyone would buy those potions from Sokolov, a Piro, health elixir, a spiritual remedy, they call them. Slackjaw told me he saw an opportunity. We already had an old whiskey factory with a still where we could water this stuff down and sell it discounted. Doing the same with old Sokolov's elixir was a smart plan. Pretty soon, everybody in the slums was sick and business was good. But after a while, there were so many people down with plague that everyone got scared. Everybody started acting real nasty, and everything fell apart. Center cannot hold, things fall apart. When people can't work, they don't have the coin for elixir, watered down or pure. When the Empress died, it seemed like Dunwell would slide into the void. Spymaster Burroughs took over, and the watch started using all that new Sokolov technology. Watchtowers, tall boys, and the arc pylons. Put up a wall of light across Clavering Out Boulevard and cracked down hard. Slackjaw surprised us again. Instead of leaving town on a boat bound for Morley or one of the other isles, he stayed and kept it all together. We get as much elixir to fight off the plague as the City Watch, with their taxes and rations, and that's kept us alive so far. Alright, good story. Now, let's go to Jay and see about these bone... Alright, so we've got Fencer. Win sword versus sword contest more frequently. Damage from explosions reduced slightly. Shot whiskey bottles explode with greater intensity. White Rat's friends. White Rat's one time. I'll take that. Void channel. Power effects slightly improved. And Gutter Feast. White Rats can be consumed for mana. It looks like we have 5 of them. I don't know how often I'm going to shoot whiskey bottles, but it sounds fun. So we'll go for it. Oh, hold on. The other thing I wanted to check. Bone Charms inventory. Coin, rewire, salt gloves, keyring, gadgets. Ammo. Upgrades. Mystic Whale Artifact. Enables 1 additional Bone Charm to be active. And that also allows 1. Okay. So now we know what they did. Alright, so now if we go to here. 120 meters. More Bone Charms. Okay. Let me start by going here. Let's grab these. Rumors and sightings. More to read. A lot to read. I like this, though. I mean, A, it's a lot to read. And I'm just about out of something to drink to keep my voice going. But I like the storytelling. However, I do prefer a show don't tell, and this is very much a tell. It's a lot of tell. But it's building a good world, so we'll put up with it. For over a year now, I've lived away from the Abbey. Without the company of my overseer brethren or the guidance of the blind sisters of the oracular order. Days have passed with me sleeping in the dens of cut purses, murders, and worse, and nights to see me prowling through the worst alleys and wretched corners of Dunwall. I've taken my meals with killers. At times I've ventured beyond the city walls, meeting in forgotten graveyards and the outlying ruins frequented by those of ill means. My beard has grown long, and I wear the weathered clothing and bits of boiled leather favored by the Bottle Street and Hatter gangs, and by those rough men and women who make their trade knifing others in return for coin. My hands run red with blood, it's true, but I've selected my targets with care, choosing among those criminals and heretics who were not fit to live, executing them justly, as using their death as means of building a reputation. So far, this trick has allowed me to make my name among my murderous colleagues without taking the lives of the innocent. My goal is singular. I must impress the assassin named Dowd in order to get close to him. Of all the practitioners of black magic we've tracked, none concerned the Abbey as much as Dowd. It said that his mother was a witch from one of the archipelagos off the Pandesian coast, taken captive by pirates venturing far from the Isles. According to the legend, by the time the ship returned, the captain was dead and the witch controlled the crew, with Dowd still a shadow in her belly. The earliest stories tell of a gang killer without mercy, moving among the shopkeepers and city watch officers of Dunwall like a reaper through wheat. Then a period of silence followed. Years we now believe he spent traveling the Isles, studying anatomy and the occult in the great halls of learning and in hidden basements frequented by fellow dabblers of the foreign arts. Dowd is even purported to have spent winter in the Academy of Natural Philosophy himself, and for a time, before schism developed, he counted the Bremar riches among his allies. All the while he honed his craft, and it is during this time that we believe he began to consort with the outsider. New reports emerged of a dusky-skinned assassin paid by the elite to eliminate the rivals in Dunwall and in the other major cities across the Isles. Those who saw him and lived numbered in the handful, but all of them reported something strange. He appeared and vanished like smoke. From a nearby rooftop, he gestured at a noblewoman stumbled from her balcony, falling to her doom from the cobblestones below. Most recently, as this new threat of plague has risen in Dunwall, Dowd has been seen leading a gang of men in dark leather, dressed as factory whalers in their vapor masks. They seem loyal beyond comprehension for one so unworthy, leading me to wonder if some of his magic is dedicated to lulling their minds and saving them. Only a month ago, one young girl claims to have come across a strange scene. Carrying a bottle of milk home to her crippled brother, she was taking a shortcut through the tailor's district. In a narrow street, she passed beneath a window and heard unusual sounds from within. Pushing aside the ratty curtain, the girl saw into an abandoned apartment, used by miscreants for gambling and trading hobberweed. An occult shrine had been erected against the far wall, which she recognized from the teachings given her by the local overseer. A man she described as resembling Dowd was kneeling before the shrine, muttering to an unseen spirit as if in argument. He took a carving, made a pale bone from the altar before him, and the lights all went out in a gush of unclean wind. White as a field mouse, she slipped away, running until she reached her home. There can be no doubt. Dowd is an agent to the outsider, and must die, for there's no limit to the evil this man might do. This is my solemn oath and the great purpose of my life. Until Dowd is dead and his corruption has been purged from the world, I will continue to move among the depraved, winding my way towards him. I will not drop my gaze or don my overseer's mask again until Dowd breathes no more. Interesting. Okay, well, clearly we're going to be like Dowd, right? So whoever that is, potentially, is going to be looking for us. More money. Another rat artifact. Let's take a look and see what we got as far as bone charms. Because now we've got a couple more upgrades. The rat, additional bone, mystical fish. All right, so we've got more. So let's go to bone charms. What do we got now? I have two more. Delicate touch. Okay. Voyeur. Moderate peephole magnification. Good lungs. I like those. Quick dodge. Enemies miss more often to arrows and bolts. And swim speed increased significantly. I'm gonna get rid of that for now, and I'm gonna go, oh, Raven. Drop assassination gives you a bit of health. I'm gonna go with River Affinity for now. All right, excerpt from the personal memoirs of Hiram Burroughs, dated several years earlier. This is the 4th day, month of high cold. Progress continues on the suppression of gang activity in the distillery district, but more slowly than I'd expect. The ruffians operating there have been cunning. I'll grant them that, but it's only a matter of time. I'll see their leaders flogged in public and sent beneath the Royal Executioner's Parade. If I had my way, that meat bastard would be working night and day, removing the heads that need removing. Okay, well that's the boy, you know, that the old lady was talking about. Internally, the Empress does not seem pleased with my investigations. It seems that it's beyond her thinking, against her very nature as a trusting person, to believe that traitors move among us. But I know they do. They must. No, Jessamine would rather spend her time with the Royal Protector. At least he's likely to stop any immediate threat to her safety. But a strong arm is not what's needed against those who would undermine us. How will Corvo's sword stop a poisoned wine glass or an explosive delivered by courier? It will not. There are many threats around us, threats requiring meticulous efforts to police. Young Lady Emily is undisciplined, I'm afraid. Here within Dunwall Tower, she receives instruction from the finest tutors known in the Isles. Yet her mother spoils her. She spends most of her time lost in imagination, wasting her time drawing or asking Corvo to teach her to fight with wooden sticks. The girl might rule the Empire someday. Every moment spent at play is a moment wasted. Shoring up security for the main gate leading into Dunwall Tower has been another pet project of late. To think that back in his day, Emperor Caldwell left it open to the public during the day, allowing anyone to come and go as they pleased. If it were up to me, I'd seal off access to the streets entirely, but the Empress won't hear of it. The water lock is much easier to protect, and if it were the only way into the tower, traffic in and out would be greatly reduced. Someday, the wrong person is going to slip in and we'll all suffer for it. Mark my words. No amount of security is excessive when it comes to protecting heads of state. The Empress also disapproves of my plans for the Sokolov devices. Sokolov himself has no interest in security, of course, but he's vain and therefore keen to see his inventions deployed in any fashion. This wall of light he's been tinkering with has promise. In any case, at least I was able to convince the Empress to upgrade the pistols carried by the officers of the Watch. Why do I worry so when no one else seems to care? If I ever fall asleep, will it all sink into the ocean? Will the rough things clamber over the walls and fill themselves on our flesh? This is what I see in the dream several times each month. If only I had more say in things, more authority, I could protect us all. Perhaps I've been working too hard. Dinner and an evening in conversation with a certain lady of refinement might be in order. Perhaps somewhere nice in the estate district. All right. Interesting. Okay, so I'm going to go this way first. Keyhole. I can't really see anything. Blood from the eyes.
Attention Dunwall citizens. Be advised, the river crust infestation has spread downriver, as far as the river mouth and flooded district. Do not attempt to approach or destroy a river crust. Any items recovered from doing so are considered state property.
Okay. Alright, we're trying to get down to there. Now I could just blink down. That's probably what I'm going to do here in just a second. I'm just looking... Oh, hello. 7. Oh, whoops, that did not work the way I wanted it to. Let's try that again. Okay, so we know we need to get down. The question is, where would I like to get down to or from? kind of like to get down right into there, honestly.
Attention Dunwall citizens. River traffic is forbidden from landing in the Distillery District due to risk of infectious contact. Violators will be taken to the Flooded District for treatment and rehabilitation.
All right. Go this way. We're gonna take our time here. If there's anything in here before I head out there. I don't see anything. Okay, so it's down there along the river. We want to go that way or just down? Come on. Can't find a way up out of the... Oh, there's a fish there. That's why. There we go. That fish was kicking my ass. I couldn't attack him while I was under there. Okay, well, that's wasn't fun. 6. All right, powers you obtain from runes can be used. Yep. Blink from roof to fish. Possess rats or fish a slow time. Okay, well, that sounds interesting. All right, so these all require more, but we know we can just get some more health here, and clearly I need that, so I'm going to go ahead and grab that. Level 2, you regenerate more health faster. Okay. Ignore that fish. I'm not a fan of his. I think we can swim here. There we go. And then I'll just blink to this one. Alright, well, we're not doing great, but we're up and moving again. Alright, let's go talk to the Admiral.
If you like, but he won't use it.
Why?
He can't sleep in regular beds anymore.
Well, let's get down to it. First off, I know that assassination is dark business, but sometimes good men have to do bad things to make the world right. Our purpose is clear. We want to restore Her Majesty's line by finding and putting Emily Kaldwin on the throne. To those ends, we'll hide, act in shadow, take them apart, piece by piece. Tonight, High Overseer Campbell dies by your hand. It won't be easy. He's protected by his overseers, an army of religious zealots. But if anyone can do it, you can. Your exploits are legendary. Campbell carries a private journal. Once you've eliminated him, get the journal, because we think it contains Emily's location. Recovering her is obviously critical, assuming she's alive. That's the gist of it. Remember our cause and strike true. We're counting on you. Another thing. Campbell is holding a former overseer by the name of Martin. He's one of us, and if you manage to find him, give him whatever help you can. He's a master strategist, and he got caught working for our cause. It'd be good to have him back here at the Hound Pits.
All right. So we need to eliminate the overseer. We need takes out of that, and then hopefully find the location of her, and as well as helping that other dude, right? Got some money. Do we want to upgrade anything before we go? I will take some chili deal. I don't know what we need with the hemlock essence, but I'm going to take it. Powder crystal.
Attention, citizens of Dunwall. The old port district has been added to the evacuation list. The Weeper count for the month of seeds has increased. The Lord Regent has decreed that plague ordinances will remain in effect through the month of rain. Stay alert and stay loyal.
Sure. Vivian ore. I don't know what that does for us, but we'll take it. More copper ore. Another little round of exploration here. All right, can you get back up here? We sure can. Oh, another book. Star Shard. Okay. Sokolov technology in the new age. One of the advantages of Sokolov's technologies is that they share the same magnetic socket for the tanks of processed whale oil they use as fuels. When a tank is exhausted, another can be plugged in place at ease. The process is simple enough that any common workman or even the lower guardsmen of the City Watch can handle the task. This applies to the arc pylon and the wall of light security systems, as well as the powered carriages used for transport by those few who are wealthy enough to afford them. The only obvious downside of Sokolov's design is the volatility of the tank themselves. A few incidents have occurred, resulting in damage to property or bodily harm whenever the tanks is exploded. All right, so we can blow up tanks in theory. Okay. Nothing else here for me to... Well, I mean, we could use the other device, but why? Oh, another book?
If you've a moment.
Oh. Yeah, hold on just a second.
Does part of the soul live in the heart? If the heart keeps beating, does that mean that the spirit is never released into oblivion? I can keep a heart beating forever with electricity, but what does that mean for any essence trapped within? It'd be easier if I created these processes in waking hours. I am uneasy pursuing avenues that emanate from my dreaming mind.
All right. Excerpts from a journal. Oh, I read this. Yeah. Okay.
Corvo. Hello. I'm Callista.
Hello.
I work here for Admiral Havelock.
Lockhart?
I'm sorry to intrude on your business, but this is important. I suspect you're going to kill the High Overseer. That wretched man. There's really no reason for you to listen to me, but my uncle, Jeff Kernow, still serves as captain in the City Watch. But he's a good man, and my only family. The chatter in servant circles is that Campbell just took delivery of an exotic poison, and I think I know why. My uncle's not corruptible like the rest of them. Campbell is going to poison my uncle. Do you think you could protect him? You used to do that, right? Before you had your current profession. Before you became an assassin.
Yeah, I could take a look at that. All right. Captain Colonel's a decent man. Inventor is able to craft equipment. Samuel the boatman, he works underground. Okay. Yep. Anything else hiding back over here that I haven't found? Nope, I think we're okay.
Just wondering, sir, if you thought about perhaps seeing Piero before venturing into the Overseer's nest. I'd recommend going with the best gear you can get together.
Good point. I did actually just hop in there thinking maybe I could do that, but he was not here. Is he upstairs? There he is.
What can I do for you?
Let's talk about upgrades. I do have more money now. All right, so a rune. Oh, I can just buy them? That seems like cheating. Well, one's not going to help me right now, so I'll wait on that. Let's take a look at upgrades. Bone shard capacity. That might not be terrible, but I think we're okay for the moment. I've got 2,400. That would probably be good. Let's just go for the cheap stuff right now. Right? It's 300, we'll buy it. I don't know that we need a lot of bullet or bolt capacity, but I don't also want to get down there and then lose stuff that maybe we could have got. So let's just kind of take the cheap stuff first. Got 3 of those. Buy one more. I don't know how many grenades I'm gonna want, but we'll take a couple. Sure. It will be triggered as an enemy approaches. Okay, that's not too bad. Let's try grabbing a couple of those. Go up to 10 bullets. 10 sleep bolts. Grab another rewire tool. Maybe 3 of those. We got 600 left. We want to get... I mean, that might be good. Unlocking blades against... That might be good, because I'm not a great melee fighter. More accuracy, more magazine, more faster reload. Oh, so once I have that, we can buy those as uploads, right? I don't like to go more silent. Let's go with crossbow range. Let's not carry a grenade out. There we go. Okay. I think we're ready to go.
Ready to go? Just give the signal.
right. Well, I'm going to end this one here then. I mean, that's, I guess, technically mission 2. It's not really a mission, but we've been at it for a little over an hour. So we'll finish this one here, and we'll be back tomorrow with the Distillery District. High Overseer Campbell, he needs to be ended. So we'll be back for that. Thanks for watching, guys. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll be back next time. Cheers.